Hello, good afternoon. Today I want to talk about some reflection on today's service, based on today's service. So, my pastor talked about restoration. We are in the month of restoration prayers, and my pastor talked about the Shunammite woman who Elisha prayed for, and she had a son in her old age, and then the son later died, and the woman went to Elisha, and Elisha saw her coming. Elisha told Gehazi to take his staff and go revive the boy, but Gehazi was not able to do that. So Elisha got there, and he shut the door. Himself and the boy prayed for the boy, and the boy rose back to life. So in Second Kings, I think that was chapter 5, Elisha told the woman to leave the country because God was going to send a famine on the country for 7 years, and immediately she left with her family. And then she came back after the famine, and she went to the king to plead for her land back and her house. And at that moment, the king was with Gehazi, who was leprous, and he asked Gehazi to tell him about the wonders of Elisha, the prophet. And Gehazi was telling him about how Elisha raised a woman's son, she gave birth to the son miraculously, and how Elisha the prophet raised the son from the dead. At that moment, the woman came in, and it was like, this is the woman I was telling you about, and that is the son, the boy that was raised to life. And as my pastor was saying it dawned on me like, God, some troubles of today are the testimonies you need to open doors for tomorrow. And God just makes everything line up perfectly. In case you didn't get that. See, when the woman was barren, she saw a prophet. Had already given up on giving birth because she was advanced in age. She saw a prophet that was always passing by, and he usually tell him to stop by, and it was like, this man is always passing. Let us make an upper room so that I can have somewhere he can stay. And so they made an upper room for him, and Elisha was so pleased, and he said, what do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to speak to the king on your behalf? And she said, we have everything we need. And then when she had left, he called Gehazi and said, what do you think I can do for these people? And Gehazi said, the woman is old and they do not have children. And so Gehazi said, call her back. And she lady came back and said, this time next year, or in this same season, next year, you will have a child in your hand. And she was like, man of God, please do not erase my hope. But she had a child. When she had a child, sometime later, the child fell down. It was saying, my head, my head. The father said, take him home. And then the child died. When the child died, she put him in the room. And then she straddled, I think it was a donkey, told one of the servants, take me to where the man of God is. And when her husband asked her, how is the boy? She said, it's okay, everything is fine. And then she went to meet Gehazi. She said, why did you bring this sorrow to me? Excuse me, not Gehazi, Prophet Elisha. And said, why did you bring this sorrow to me? I was on my own, and then you told me I was going to have a child. After knowing the taste of being a mother, am I going to now be a mommy mother? And Elisha was like, hold on. Because Gehazi was younger, he gave him his staff and said, take this staff and lay it on the boy when you get there. Gehazi did that and nothing happened. And Elisha himself, the prophet, went and he laid on the boy and breathed, I think, on him. You have to check that yourself. And the boy rose up. What I'm saying is this. It was a pain. It was sorrowful. It was like a sword through the heart of the woman when this thing happened to her son, when her son died. But God was using all that as a testimony for her to have unquestionable, uncontestable favor with the king. Because when the king heard that this is the woman and this is the boy, he immediately felt like, that I believe he felt like he was honoring the servant of God, the prophet Elisha, by ensuring that he did everything to make sure the woman gained back her property. So he said, let her have a house, let her have a land, and every proceed that the land had yielded while she was away. Why am I telling you this? Trust God. God, I pray God will turn all your soul and all my soul to the highways, to instruments of joy, of breakthrough, of ease, of favor for your todays and your tomorrows. Happy New Week.